Hare Ram, Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Ram.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram,
Hare Krishna,
Hare Ram,
Yes, Mom, you can chant.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram,
Mommy, it's time to look about the garden. Can you please?
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Haji, Mama, Rix,
Hare Ram,
Hare Ramayan, Hare
Hare Ram, Hare Krishna,
Mama, Krishna, Hare Ram,
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram,
Mommy, investigation, please. You won't.
Hare Ram, Ram.
You are not.
Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare. Mataji, look at my colors. They gone disappeared. Mataji.
Yes.
Look at my colors. They gone disappeared.
Okay, Ryan, we are chanting, please. Don't talk. Oh, please chant. Chant.
Oh, ow, oh, ow, 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 ow. Stop it. Ah, ow, oh, ow, oh, ah, 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 ah.
Chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram,
Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Ram Hare Ram Hare Hare
Krishna Hare
Krishna Krishna Hare
Hare. Yeah. Yes, Ryan.
Camera.
Yeah, because you are doing bad. That will you stop doing that?
Yeah.
Okay. Good boy. No, don't do with the beats like that. Okay, it's wrong. Okay, now chant. Good boy. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram
Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. ঘরে যাই চলো Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Hare Ram, Ram Ram.
Laxmi Mataji, this is Vrinda. Hare Krishna Mataji, this is Raigal. Ryan.
Hare Krishna, kids. How are you all doing?
Good. We're doing good, Mataji.
Awesome. Good to hear that. All right, kids. Can you?
The screen is not bigger.
Yeah, I think so. You can see my PowerPoint presentation, right?
Mataji, no. Hare Krishna Mataji, this is Subhadra and Giridhari.
Hare Krishna.
And I'm Hanuman. Somebody has a presentation.
Yeah, we are actually going to have the presentation. So that's going on. Okay.
Picture.
All right. So you can see my screen now, right? All right, kids. So let's get started. So first of all, welcome to today's Damodar class. Again, it's going to be a fun-filled class with a lot of stuff that we're going to do. So keeping all that in mind, let's just get started, right? Because we have too much to do today. You all know the drill, how we start the class, right? We start the class with Shri Guru Pranam Mantra, followed by Hare Krishna Mahamantra 11 times. Everything is on your screen, and we're going to do that together.
Om
Shri Rupam Sagratatam Om Vishnu Shri Krishna Shri
I'm gonna take that song
Rama
and track it. No, I'm gonna take it. It goes. Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare
Hare Krishna Hare Hare Krishna
All right. Yeah, you will say I repeat that every time, but I have to. That was just amazing chanting. Kids, you were so engrossed as always. So proud of you. All right. Now, next part of the class today is the story that we are continuing. So basically, we're reading Ramayan from past so many weeks. And
Mataji, can we tell you something quickly?
yeah, we can talk about everything towards the end. Okay, so let's just talk about the story
Can
first.
we just show something at the end of the class?
What's that?
Can we make something? This is our puppet.
That's interesting. But let's just keep that. Let's park that. Remember that we have to talk about it, okay, towards the end. But
Okay, thank you,
Okay.
Mataji.
all right, perfect. And I know when you share your realization from this story, that time you can share anything that you want. All right. Awesome. All right. So I was saying that we've been reading Ramayana from past so many weeks, and you would have caught up on many things, all that has happened so far. But we're going to continue from here today. So you remember what did we do yesterday?
I'm gonna eat you.
Exactly. This is right. This is one of the very interesting chapter in Ramayana, right? It is Hanumanji's chapter. Very, very interesting how Hanuman can fly, he can jump, he can set Lanka on fire. Yeah, right? Very, very interesting stuff. So let's just read today's story. Part of the story from Hanuman in Lanka. All right. So when Hanuman reached Lanka, he found Pushpa's chariot there, right? Lying there in the center of Ravana's palace. He pretty much knew that that Ravan has Pushpak chariot, and that is the one he used to take Sita Mata. So when he found the chariot, he was pretty much sure that he would be able to find Sita Mata as well there, because she should be around the place, right? Because Ravan lives there. And then here they're describing how big the chariot is, how beautiful the chariot is. It it is embellished with so many beautiful jewels and gold and silver and whatnot, coral and all that kind of stuff. Everything of the chariot itself is so beautiful. You see, it has elephants on it. It has a kind of water pond in it. So it has got everything, and everything has been carved beautifully with a lot of different kind of jewels, right? So it's extremely beautiful chariot, one of the kind, basically, I would say. And that is why, everybody talks about it.
Yeah.
So
Also, a lot of people can also be in it.
yeah, because it's really big, right? Yes. So that's how it was. Hanuman was very astonished to see the mountain-like chariot. So see, as you said just now, it was huge. Um, it was huge, but quickly Hanuman realized that that's not why he is here. He's here for a very big cause. The cause was to find Sita Mata. So he started looking for Ravana's apartment. And everywhere he looked, he saw there were guards. Basically, guards were Rakshas, right? All the Rakshasas or demons. They had different kind of weapons in their hands, and they were alertly looking around all the places. So there were too many of them, and they were, the guards, right? And the duty of the guard is just make sure that everybody who lives there are safe, and any intruder, basically, right? Any intruder who tries to enter, they take care of that. So they had all sorts of weapons they needed, and they were very, very alert, and they were looking around. But anybody knows, if they were looking around all the places, how can Hanuman be there? Why can't they see Hanuman?
Because he is so small.
Hanuman was small, but I thought Hanuman was huge, because when he crossed the river, he became very huge.
Because he turned himself into being very little and tiny.
Oh, any other answers? Okay, never mind. We have the answer right here, so I'm going to read it for you.
Laxmi Mataji,
Yes.
the answer is, so the guards were searching one place, but Hanuman was on the other side.
Okay. Well, yeah, he's smart enough. We all know that. He knew his ways out. We knew that, right? But at the same time, Hanuman had some kind of celestial powers, right? So he could hide himself. So he can make himself invisible, not hide behind the trees or behind the wall or anything of that sort. He could make himself invisible to the guards, right? And that is the reason why, though he was surrounded by the guards couldn't see him. Whatever size he was, whatever other powers he had, but at the same time, just because he could make himself invisible, they couldn't see him. So yeah, so that was the advantage for him, right? He could just move around. He can keep peeping into every single room, through windows, everywhere. Nobody could see him. So finally, he entered Ravana's personal chambers, and he saw that, again, they just talk about, it was again covered with a lot of jewels. It was beautifully decorated and all that kind of, a lot of flowers, a lot of garlands everywhere, and one of the kind again. He saw that, and he saw a lot of maid servants, and everybody was sleeping. It was late in the night, so everybody was sleeping, and he started looking everywhere. At the same time, he could even smell the food there. So the smell of the food was so tempting that he felt that all his senses are being simultaneously attracted by the delights of Ravana's place. So not just it was a beautiful place, not just the castle, the Pushpak chariot were amazingly decorated, and they were extremely gorgeous, but every single thing, the way everything was decorated there, the way things were maintained there, everything was amazing, that at one point Hanuman started comparing that with Lord Brahma's abode or Lord Indra's palace and all that kind of stuff. So they were so beautiful. All right. And they were huge as well. Not just that, they were huge. The mansions were huge. Everything was huge. Why not? Raman had 10 heads as well, right? He needs a lot of space. Anyways, jokes apart, let's move on. So he started going to every single chamber one by one. And he saw many people. He's still looking for Sita Mata. And then he saw Ravana's wives as well, right? All the Ravana's wives were daughters of Gandharvas, rishis, and powerful demons. So they all were like chosen ones. But Hanuman kept telling himself that he's here for a reason, right? So he had the same focus in his mind. He said, oh, they are nobody in front of Mother Sita. There's no comparison at all. Finally, he reached to the chambers where Ravan was sleeping. Hanuman identifies Ravan as very, very handsome. He was extremely handsome. He was huge. He was huge. His complexion was like a dark cloud. But when he was sleeping, he had just one head and just two arms, right? Otherwise, we always know that Ravana had 10 heads, but this time when he was sleeping, he had just one. He was sleeping, and his body was smeared with red sandalwood paste. His clothes were gorgeous, like beautiful clothes. He was decorated with a lot of jewels, and he was huge. And they were talking about his arms and all, right? So his arms were like a tree's trunk. They were so huge. They were so huge. His arms were so huge, and he had so many cuts on his body and face, because he has always been, all through his life, he has been fighting with gods. So he had so many scars on his body. But here in the chambers itself, he found another woman sleeping there. And then when he looked at her, he thought, for a moment, he was very excited. He thought, oh, it has to be Mother Sita here. And he started jumping around, and he is such a beautiful comparison. It's done here that he started jumping like monkey, right? Twisting around and jumping back and forth and all that kind of stuff he was doing. But eventually, when he was doing all that, he suddenly realized, he looked at he took a closer look at the woman, right? And she was sleeping in peace. She was sleeping in peace. So he realized that the woman who's sleeping in peace, the one who is away from her husband, Lord Ram, how can she be at peace, right? How can she be not worried and sleeping so peacefully? So this is definitely not Mother Sita. He realized that very soon. And then, thinking of that, he looked at every single chambers by now, right? And he didn't find Mother Sita there. So he came out of the chambers and he started going to other places, using the wall of the city. He went everywhere, and then he saw a lovely grove, basically beautiful gardens that Lanka had, and he started going through those. Started looking at those gardens and everywhere. So he saw ponds as well, different shapes of pond full of lotuses and sleeping swans. So here they're just kind of trying to explain how beautiful every single place was. Like, they were beautifully decorated, they were well maintained. In fact, they were not just decorated with mortar or sand and all that kind of stuff. It was like beautifully decorated with a lot of jewels and all those kind of very precious stones. Okay, so when he was going around the gardens, he saw a huge tree. He climbed on the tree so that he can look around everywhere easily. And he saw there was a temple there. At the near the temple, he saw a lady sitting there, a woman sitting there, and there were so many Rakshas women surrounding that woman with a lot of again, what is it called, weapons again. So by looking at that, he could guess that it could be Mother Sita, right? Because she was sitting there, she was grieving, she was very sad, she was wearing very old and dirty clothes, right? No ornaments, nothing. So just by looking at her, he could quickly it could click him that it has to be Mother Sita, because she's very, very sad right now. And I'm sure she's sad because she was away from Lord Ram. And here they are also explaining how those Rakshasis are, right? They all are very shapeless. They have like they have feet of elephants. They have shapeless noses. They have like big eyes on their head. Big eye on their head, and then different kind of stuff. So yeah, very shapeless kind of demons is how he's explaining. All right, so we will have to end today's story here. Finally, Hanuman at least reached the place where Mother Sita was kept. Now, more interesting part would come from tomorrow. All right, kids, with that, let's just open up for you all to hear what are your thoughts from today's story. All right, Ramachandra, let's start with you.
My name is Ramachandra Ryan.
Ryan, I know you really have, and you have ease as well. All right, Ryan, go ahead.
So Hanuman grade is up the record is so Hanuman was on the trees watching in the demon ladies is a near Sita, so Hanuman see that so he got a plan to get this, so we're going to see that tomorrow.
Absolutely. Tomorrow is going to be fun. I wish we could have done it today, right? When Hanuman burns Lanka. That is amazing. I like that part very much. All right. Thank you for sharing your thoughts, Ryan. That was beautiful. All right. Shubhadra and Giridhari, do you want to go next?
Yes, Mataji. Can my sister go first?
Yeah, Shubhadra.
So Mataji, so Hanuman is a very great servant of Lord Rama because Hanumanji wants to do whatever his Lord says, and Lord Rama blesses Hanumanji to go to get Sita, to search where Sita is, so that Rama can communicate with Sita by his messenger, Lord Hanumanji.
Absolutely. Yeah, thank you for bringing that point, Shubhadra. That's a very beautiful point. As a servitor of Lord Ram, he very well knew what he wanted to do, right? And that's what the message is. When he had too many distractions around him, he just did not get distracted. He was completely focusing on finding Mother Sita. Beautiful point. Thank you, Shubhadra. Yes, Giridhari?
Can I say, Mataji? Thank you, Mataji. When Hanumanji was searching Mother Sita, he always focuses his life on serving the Lord, and by the Lord's mercy, he can do any obstacle. He can destroy any obstacle and cross all of them, and can do anything what he wants. Like when he wants to go to Mother Sita and finds him in the Shugvatika, and Mother Sita was happy to get the ring. So that's Hanumanji's character quality. Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Yeah, that was a beautiful point to Girdhari. And thank you for mentioning that it was Ashok Vatika, which I actually forgot to mention. So Mother Sita was actually in Ashok Vatika. So the place she was staying was Ashok Vatika. Thank you for mentioning that as well. All right, I'm going to move on. So Gaurangi, do you want to go next?
Yes, Mataji. When Ravana took Sita, and Rama and Lakshmana was trying to find Sita, but they have to build a bridge. They called Hanuman and the Sugrivas to help. and Hanuman will get Sita, and then Rama, and then they will, and no, the Sugriva's will make the bridge, and then Rama can go to Lanka to get Sita, and then there will be a battle with Ravana. Thank you, Mataji.
Oh my God, Gaurang, you told the whole story already. You already know everything. Thank you for sharing that. All right, let's move on. Janvi, do you want to share your thoughts?
Mataji, can I?
I'll come to you, Vrinda. Janvi?
Oh my God, that Hanuman is so sweet to Rama that that he'll listen to everything he says and he'll do anything Lord Rama needs. And so Hanuman's very, very humble to Lord Rama. And I want to say that you should always be humble like Hanuman.
Oh, that's beautiful. Thanks for sharing that. And what a beautiful quality, isn't it, Janvi, of a servitor? So wonderful. Thank you. All right. Vrinda, yes, go ahead, please.
Actually, how big was the airplane? What is that called?
Oh, is that a question, Vrinda?
No.
Yeah, it was very huge. It was very, very huge. It did
Yeah, actually in the Ramayana it describes like all the monkeys of Rama's army could fit in there with their wives.
exactly. It was huge. Very true.
Yeah.
Thank you, Vrinda. Anything else?
Yeah, I just wanted to also share two things. Like today is my mother's birthday and I have a new cousin.
Ah, that's awesome. Congratulations to you and very happy birthday to your mother.
Yeah, my cousin is a sister. Is a girl now. She's just
That's
small.
very sweet, very adorable. So you're gonna have a good time, Vrinda, with the little one, and wish your mom a very happy birthday from all of us. Thank you, Vrinda, for sharing your thoughts. Madhav, how about you?
Hanuman is the biggest devotee of Sri Ram. And he finally found Sita Mata in Lanka. Thank you, Mataji.
Absolutely, Madhav. Thank you. And that's what I was mentioning. That's the quality of a servant, right? I wish we can get that kind of influence, right? Very well said. Thank you for sharing your thoughts, Madhav. Deepak and Kashi.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. My realizations are a friend in need is a friend indeed. So like Hanum, well, so if like Rama helped them kill Bali, but then Sugriva totally forgot because of his pride. Because he thought, oh, I'm the king now. But now he realized he has to do his job. And then now he's, and also, instead of being hopeless, they should have tried and continued on instead of worrying about death. they should have kept on trying hard and trying to find Mother Sita. Hanuman told them, and then Hanuman got to the forest and found Mother Sita. And with he used all his effort to get there. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Great. Thank you, Deepak, for sharing your thought. Kaushi, you want to share something too?
Yes, Mataji.
Go ahead, Kaushi.
Lord Hanuman and Lord Rama and Lord Lakshmana and all the other monkeys, they built a bridge out of rocks, and they were saying something, and the rocks were saying something, and then they made it in the water, and then they reached Lanka, and the rocks were saying Rama, and they reached Lanka, and then Lord Rama had a battle, and then he killed all the Rakshasas and Ravan and the guards, and then he found Mother Sita, and they were happy again. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Wonderful. Thank you, Kaushi. Yeah, you all remember all the stories. But one thing I would be really curious to know in the next class, anybody who could tell me why did those big stones float on the water?
Because Rama's name was printed on it.
Okay, kids, we're not reading that today, right? So we'll talk about that in the next class, but I will let you enjoy when that class happens. All right, let's move on. I see ISKCON Baltimore kids, so I don't see kids' name here, but please announce your name and go ahead.
Mataji, this is Vishnu.
Vishnu, all right, Vishnu, go ahead. You want to share your thoughts?
He just has a question.
Sure.
Is Sita Mata? Is Sita Mata? He's asking, is Sita Mata's, is the yellow color just Sita Mata? He's asking that.
Yeah, she is the one. Yeah, so this picture is actually very, very clear, right? So the rest of all our Rakshasas, you can see that clearly, right? They are like very shapeless. But Sita Mata, who is wearing very normal clothes. Yeah, that's Sita Mata. All right.
Yeah. He was asking. I have a question.
Yeah, Deepa, go ahead.
Didn't in the Ramayan it said how Rama met is saint along his journey, and the saint's daughter gave Mother Sita all nice jewelries and stuff. So I don't get it how she has messy clothes and stuff when she already has all the jewelry.
Well, so I mean, the short answer is when Sita Mata along with Lord Ram and Lakshman left for the exile, they were not supposed to enjoy any kind of luxuries, right? They had to lead a very simple life. So even though they would have gotten so many gifts from different places, either they refused to take those gifts, or even if they had whatever, they would still have stayed in and led a very simple life. So the way people lived when they go to exile or go to forest, right? No luxuries. So Sita Mata, along with Lord Ram, actually maintained that all through those 14 years. Right?
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Krishna. All right, kids. Looks like this is it. So wonderful, kids. I love hearing your thoughts, and as usual, I enjoyed that today as well. Really wonderful, kids. All right, let's move on. All right, now's the time to learn this beautiful Bhagavad Gita shloka from Anjana Gopika Mataji. So Hare Krishna Mataji, over to you.
My mom's coming.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare
Mataji. This is Ramachandra Line E.
Hari Bol, Ramachandra.
Mataji, this is Tushita.
Hare Krishna Tushita. Hare Krishna Janvi.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hari Bol. Can you all repeat after me the sloka?
Yes, Mataji.
Then we also repeat. Ajopi sanna vyayatma. Ajopi sanna vyayatma. Everyone. Ajopi sanna vyayatma. Yes, very nice tune. Ajopi sanna vyayatma.
Avyayatma.
Bhutana Ishwarapi san.
Bhutama Ishwaro
Bhutanam Ishwarapi san.
Bhutanam Ishwaro Pisan.
Bhutanam Ishwarapi san.
Bhutanam Ishwaro Pisan.
Prakriting swamadhisthaya. Prakriting swamadhisthaya. Prakriting swamadhisthaya. Prakritim swamadhisthaya. Sambhavamya atmamayaya. Sambhavamya atmamayaya. Sambhavamya atmamayaya. Ajopi sannavyayatma. Bhutanamishwarapi san. Prakritim swamadhisthaya. Sambhavamyatmamayaya. Okay, you all can do together, okay? We will not go to the break room today. We'll go, but not for the sloka. Everyone, okay. One more time. Very nice. One more time, last time. Okay, if you know, you can. If you already practice at home, you can without looking. Okay, you can read the translation what Krishna is saying, okay? Everyone.
Translation. For my translation. I am unborn, and my translation is body this rich, and although the body Lord of all living
I'm the Lord.
entities, of organ intact if formed. I celebrate
My original
in my original form.
transcendental form.
And transcendental form.
Yeah, Krishna comes in his transcendental form. His form is not like ours. Yes, he said in Bhagavad Gita. Yeah, he's not coming like our form. Okay, Mataji, please take a. Maybe we can do the break and then I don't know. Mataji.
Yeah, Mataji, yes, Mataji, we have only 4 minutes, only 3 minutes. So I'm opening the breakout. Kids, please click on join. The live stop.